Tonight, the Ross River unleashes its fury on Townsville, the city under siege from record-breaking floods.
The incredible stories of survival from those left homeless by the disaster.
An urgent warning from Ergon as more and more residents lose power.
The wider impact of this 1-in-100-year weather event only just being realised.
And Bowen braces for its share of the monsoon trough, which is now threatening the Whitsundays.
This is 9 News North Queensland.
Good evening. It's relentless and showing no sign of easing. A monster monsoon drowning North Queensland, flooding thousands of homes and leaving the most stoic of locals in a state of shock.
Tonight, many are packed into evacuation centres. Hundreds are bunkering down with family and friends, with more homes set to be swallowed by the inland sea.
The night the Ross River swallowed Townsville.
Current rainfall totals in Townsville now put this event well beyond the 1998 night of Noah.
By first light, it emerged more than 20 suburbs underwater.
The worst morning that we wake up to, you know, we had a sleepless night to get up in the morning and find this here.
The Ross River Dam gates fully open. 2 million litres of water pouring towards the city every second, filling streets and homes. 2 million litres of water
flowing straight through the houses and right through the backyard. It's just a river going through. It's life. Straight through the houses and right through the backyard. It's just a river going through.
Crops are being snapped in the streets. Evacuation centres are full, more are opening. More than 1,000 people are now refugees in their own city.
The floodwater came from that rain. We looked around, we've got to get out, it's too late. Couldn't get out, so we just stayed there last night.
Amongst the 1,000 needing assistance in just 24 hours, 2 policemen caught in their patrol car.
That was scary for us. It's a lesson for all of us. At the end of the day, we were out there doing what we thought was needed. If people had left their homes earlier, had we asked them to over the last couple of days, we wouldn't have had that many calls for assistance to attend to.
Helping fight the flood, footy stars, cowboys turning rescuers in the suburb of Fairfield. Helping fight the flood,
so if you are in
cowboys turning rescuers in the suburb of Fairfield.
The boys are all doing trips over in the boats to come and get you.
Answering the call, a small armada, Townsvillians in tinnies.
Yes, we made all the calls to try and get out earlier, but we couldn't, but we were very thankful that our friends had a boat and they came and got us.
Every man and his dog pulling together despite their own lives turning upside down.
We've lost one of our businesses and it's underwater on Charters Towers Road at the moment, so there's nothing I can do, so we're out here helping.
So the street we're actually moving through now is Waterfront Parade, and as you can see, it well and truly is living up to its name. There is a lake that usually sits there. It's a lovely outlook for all these homes. But right now, it's in their front living room. Townsville Airport has reopened while state schools remain closed.
Colleagues, students, everyone, you know, it's really tough times at the moment.
Yeah, you just lost for words sometimes, you know.
Everyone,
your heart just breaks.
It's really tough times.
Children instead learning about life in a disaster zone.
It was really scary. Dad woke me up
Children
early.
instead learning about life in a disaster
So
zone.
we all went looking for a lot of AA batteries so we could fill our light that we got.
And the river may not be finished with the city just yet.
I think there's more to come. It seems to be just more and more water coming down from the dam. There's more to come.
And live now to Philip Calder in Townsville. Phil, authorities are warning residents not to be complacent.
Well, Rob joins us now from the water there.
That's right, Sam. This flood emergency is far from over, as you can see from this flood water around me, which is showing no signs of receding. There is still 2 million litres per second of water flowing down the Ross River Dam spillway, and that's flowing into the Ross River and into those suburbs, and that level is expected to stay at that peak that we've seen since 11 o'clock this morning, right into tonight or early into tomorrow, or even longer depending on what this unpredictable weather system does. And that means the message is to stay alert, to stay home if you can, to keep abreast of those messages coming from authorities. Of course, as you just heard, 1,000 people are homeless tonight in one of 5 of those evacuation centres. A lot of people who are already exhausted settling in for another sleepless night. Paul.
Thanks for the update. Stay safe, Phil. Heavy rain and flash flooding continues to pound North Queensland tonight as large areas of the region remain underwater. Today, 9 News was given a bird's eye look at the devastation, most of it now only accessible from the sky.
It's the start of a journey into the very clouds that have brought so much havoc across the far north. You can see for the first time the true devastation.
There's a lot of inundated houses and probably maybe half of Townsville communities flooded.
A big, wet, sodden, saturated landscape stretching from the north of Ingham south towards Ayr, flooding as far as the eye can see.
And probably maybe half.
This is the only way we can bring you the first bird's eye view of a city grappling with the biggest flood in living memory. Suburb after suburb, full to the brim, overflowing with destruction and heartbreak. Pilot Sam Bryan has flown over this area hundreds of times.
So I've been here for 2 years now, and I've never seen anything as bad as this.
Railway Estate, Hermit Park and Ross Lee, all unrecognisable. The Ross River Dam roaring through wide open gates.
It seems to be rising.
From up here you can see the roads are cut in dozens of directions. It's been an absolute nightmare for authorities who have found it very difficult, if not impossible, to get the basics, things like food and water out to those communities that have been cut off. Helicopters are the only way in. Dropping off supplies to communities still cut off, more than a week on from the first downpours. But be it in the air or on the ground, it's the same heartbreaking story. How it looks tomorrow after the peak will only cause more pain. In Townsville, Emily Prain, 9 News.
The Mackay Whitsunday region is bracing for its share of the monsoon trough, which is now threatening to track south. Olivia Grace Curran's live in Bowen. Olivia, we've been told to prepare for significant rain and dangerous flash flooding there.
And look, they are
That's right, PT. A severe weather warning is in place from here right down to Mackay and out west to the coalfields. The Weather Bureau is predicting rainfalls of up to 300 millimetres plus a chance of cyclonic winds. Swiftwater rescue crews are on standby in Mackay, Proserpine and Early Beach and are ready to respond to any emergencies. We chatted to some Bowen locals earlier today. Here's what they had to say about this unique weather event.
He and his wife Cynthia this morning making the anxious journey back to the place they once called home. As a kid growing up here, this back here. Our son-in-law forcing them to evacuate last night.
So we're good to go. Obviously my in-laws left it until last minute. They didn't expect it to be as serious
Here, they're no stranger to natural disasters, but this region has only just recovered from the devastating effects of Cyclone Debbie. Sam?
Came here for a holiday.
Yes, thank you for the update there. Thanks, Olivia Grace Curran reporting for us there. Now, for what Queenslanders can expect next with this intense weather system, we're joined by Sophie Ryan. Sophie, what's the latest forecast?
Sam, this is an unpredictable system, so we don't know exactly what it's going to do next, but the Bureau's latest forecast model has the monsoon trough remaining fairly stationary over the north of the state tonight and tomorrow. It may drift to the south as well, but either way, this is not good news by any means for waterlogged places like Townsville, with heavy rain far from over. A severe weather warning is right now in place for areas between Cardwell down to Mackay and out west to Cloncurry for intense falls up to 300 millimetres is possible within just hours. I'll have more in the full weather report later in the bulletin.
Meanwhile, thousands of residents are tonight sleeping in evacuation centres right across the city. Many arming themselves with a smile despite enduring terrifying ordeals over the past 48 hours.
Still laughing despite having the night from hell.
We were terrified because we had to walk off the top step and jump into the boat. I got in and the boat tipped to the side and I thought I was going to fall out.
John and Carleen Mitchell, a true testament to the North Queensland spirit.
Once it all dries out, it'll be good. We're going to buy a couple of hairdryers and dry the walls.
But now, safe and well, the reality is starting to sink in.
But the hardest thing was sort of not dry.
Yeah.
Residents stocking up
to
on
see
essentials.
our house go under like it did.
And eggs and
I'm sorry.
Supermarkets in the region,
the couple were just 2 of 400 people evacuated from Adalia and Noonbar by Army personnel overnight.
Last night the conditions were very challenging. The water level was rising and the heavy rains were still in effect.
Those residents were all transported to the temporary evacuation centre at Laverack Barracks. This centre will remain open for as long as the need for emergency evacuations continue, with Army personnel working overtime to make this devastating situation as comfortable as possible.
This morning we obviously had some fresh rations come, so eggs and bacon for breakfast, which sort of boosted the morale quite significantly for everyone here.
All putting their lives on hold to help their community.
I did evacuate myself and my family from Adalia, and it was very wet.
Many having lost so much already.
Gone.
The Army's efforts are continuing today with a constant flow of residents arriving at Heatley, all singing their praises.
You can't fault them, they're just so good. It's nice to have support and nice to have people that help you, and you just don't feel like you're by yourself.
Claire Bowie, 9 News.
Reports of people using portable generators in their living rooms has prompted Ergon Energy to issue an urgent warning. It says fumes from the engines emit toxic carbon monoxide, which could result in death if the area isn't properly ventilated.
A 1 in 100 year disaster, the likes of which Townsville has never seen, and somehow no one has lost their life.
Connecting, communicating has ensured that we've kept public safety to this point.
But it doesn't mean the dangers are over. Power is one of the greatest. As homes are disconnected for safety, generators are being started up. Reports of one being used inside a home, worrying authorities.
Obviously the smoke and the build-up of carbon monoxide and things like that, very dangerous to people, so we urge people not to do that.
This afternoon, more than 12,000 properties were without power. The main culprit, flooding through the Hermit Park substation near Charters Towers Road.
As the water rises, it gets into our ground-mounted equipment and into our cabling, and as you know, electricity and water don't mix very well at all.
15 day crews and 8 night crews have been working around the clock to shut off power where it's dangerous and turn it back on where they can. They're also monitoring other parts of the network which are at risk.
We have 2 other zone subs that are in the impact area, but at this stage we're monitoring them and sandbagging them, and we're confident they should be all right.
But in a region more accustomed to power lines being blown over by cyclones, this is uncharted territory.
I've been here since 1980. We've had a lot of storms here, all above ground, so this one is new to us.
Philip Calder, 9 News.
Meanwhile, the Bowen region is beginning to see the impacts of Townsville's flood disaster. Major freight routes have been cut, leaving supermarkets bare. Mackay and Whitsunday supermarkets are beginning to feel the impacts of the extreme weather up north, with flooding south of Townsville cutting major freight routes.
Over the past couple of days, there's been shortages on bread and milk and whatnot.
A shortage of fresh produce in supermarkets, forcing people to stock up on the essentials.
Mainly bread and eggs and kitty litter. I just got told one lady went in there and bought 20 loaves of bread, so she must be preparing.
The major supermarkets say they have contingency plans for extreme weather events to ensure increased stock can
Now, Andrew, another key consideration
to ensure increased stock can be sent to stores where required, and they are monitoring stock levels in the region closely.
There were signs up saying that some of the produce from North Queensland can't get through, so that sort of makes sense.
Woolworths and Coles are expecting stock to be trucked up to Mackay and the Whitsundays from Brisbane in coming days, but warn deliveries may be limited. However, there are fears flooding will cut the Bruce Highway south of Proserpine and trucks will not be able to get through. Olivia Grace Curran, 9 News.
Now let's take a look at the average price of fuel in Townsville. You'll pay $1.29.2 cents per litre. The RACQ says you should be paying $1.29.1.
We all knew our banking and finance sector was imperfect, but over the last year the sheer scale of the bad behaviour within the industry came to light. Today, a long-awaited report was handed down down, with the Banking Royal Commission recommending 76 sweeping changes to help address the root of the poor behaviour.
Up to 10 years in jail.
The financial industry's days in the dock are a long way from done.
The price paid by our community for this misconduct is immense.
The Royal Commission has delivered a damning indictment of the money men and women in 76 recommendations and in referring more than 20 cases to industry watchdogs to pursue civil or criminal charges.
The scathing assessment of conduct driven by greed.
On the scandal of fees paid for no service by the Big Four and AMP, the Royal Commissioner says the Australian Securities and Investment Commission should consider criminal prosecutions for dishonest conduct. That carries big financial penalties and up to 10 years in jail.
This is a dark day for Australia's banks and financial institutions.
The Commissioner's 4 key themes target the culture of rewarding misconduct, the power imbalance between the industry and its customers, conflicts of interest, and holding financial institutions to account.
The banking sector must change and change forever.
Key recommendations include mortgage brokers should be paid by customers and not banks. Annual commissions to financial advisors should be banned. Advisors who are not independent must tell clients in writing. Hawking superannuation and insurance products to be banned. People should have only one default super fund. There should be no penalty interest for farmers in drought and suffering natural disasters. The bank regulator should redesign bank bosses' pay schemes, and banks and insurers should have one person who's legally responsible for all their products.
This is the Royal Commission that Scott Morrison did not want you to see.
The Coalition spent months resisting demands for a Royal Commission.
The government is not proposing a Royal Commission, and we've opposed one consistently.
The government was eventually forced to call the inquiry, and when it came, it ripped through the financial industry like an earthquake. Over 68 days of hearings on 45 financial institutions, dozens of victims told the same grim tale.
I think they're quite unscrupulous.
I've got
more credit limit increases come through. And I tried to tell them I had a problem.
They can ruthlessly strip everything away from you.
The inquiry exposed banks driven by greed.
I think they're quite unscrupulous.
Ethical.
I think credit limit increases come through.
It's fair to say
overseen by tame regulators.
The lack of consequences. Strip everything away from you.
The inquiry exposed banks driven by greed. While the big end of town piled up profits, the little people were the losers.
An investment property to rent to someone else when we haven't even got a property to live in ourselves. Sorry.
The trial is over, now the jury is in. The evidence is damning and the government is promising to act.
We're taking action on all 76 recommendations.
The 2 watchdogs didn't go unscathed, with the Royal Commission finding them timid regulators. Change is in the wind.
Responding to the Royal Commission will be a big part of the federal election campaign, with Labor painting the government as a friend to the big end of town, and the Coalition saying that Labor's plans for the economy will slow it down, just as we're heading an inquiry-induced credit squeeze.
Today is the day that Scott Morrison and his entire government should hang their head in shame.
The future is now going to be brighter.
Voters will believe that, and they see it. Chris Ullman, 9 News.
The report was released after the market closed. Nine's finance editor Ross Greenwood is in Canberra with more on what effect will it have when it reopens tomorrow.
The future is now going to be
The impact will be significant when the market does open, because this report has been highly market sensitive. At least 3 of the big major banks will no doubt have their share prices higher tomorrow. That is the Commonwealth, the ANZ and Westpac, because many will